The chanting of stones echoed in the cave as Grailcar traced runes in his crystal arms. Each mark vibrated, turning into the mountain's breath. The blight approached, devouring the veins of energy, but as long as a Thogrum fought, the earth would not give way. You are listening to the final reworking of one of the species from the first edition of the Fantasy Creature Contest. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave you a link in the description. In a nutshell, together with my community, I created a large number of fantasy or science fiction creatures. It is a creative effort aimed, despite its name, at encouraging sharing rather than competition. You can find a written version of this species on my website, www.francesco.com, if you want to read the details at your leisure. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the other creatures and the grand tournament, during which we will choose our favorite. Also, if you want to actively support the channel, you can do so through Patreon or by purchasing some of my books on Amazon, links in the description. Chapter 1 – Introduction. Presentation. The Thogrum are colossal crystal-infused mountain giants whose shimmering, stone-like bodies channel elemental energy from the earth's deep veins, granting them immense strength and mastery over stone and crystal. Master miners, they extract rare minerals to construct monumental fortresses of crystal and stone that serve as homes, temples, and enduring symbols of their philosophy of balance, melding delicate crystalline spires with unyielding stone foundations. Yet their existence is imperiled by a spreading blight that disrupts the Earth's elemental energy, weakening their bond to the land and threatening both their survival and the stability of their mountains. Some place their hope in the legendary Eternal Forge to restore balance, while others pursue alliances with neighbor races to pool knowledge and resources against the crisis. Physical appearance. The Thogrum are colossal mountain-born giants whose bodies are seamlessly interwoven with crystalline formations, making them appear as living sculptures of stone and gem. Their skin resembles weathered rock shot through their veins of shimmering crystal, which glow faintly when channeling elemental energy. These crystalline patterns are unique to each individual, much like a fingerprint, and often extend across their limbs and facets in intricate natural designs. Their eyes gleam like polished gemstones, sapphire, emerald, amber, hinting at the deep elemental forces within. Chapter 2 – Traits and Mechanics. Abilities. The Thogrum wield unparalleled master over earth and crystal, able to reshape stone, carve intricate structures, and fortify terrains with a mere gesture. Their connection to the earth's vein allows them to sense tremors, locate rare minerals, and detect structural weaknesses in stone. Through the carving of crystal runes of balance into their skin, they can stabilize corrupted energy flows, briefly repelling the blight's advance. Skilled geomancers among them can summon elemental echoes, fragments of ancient titan essence, to purify crystal veins and restore harmony to the land. Though this power demands a personal sacrifice. Their immense physical strength and resilience make them formidable in both battle and construction. Languages. The Thogrum speak Stone Thong, a deep resonant language of slow, deliberate tones that seems to reverberate through the air like echoes in a cavern. It is accompanied by subtle vibration transmitted through the ground, allowing them to speak across distances in the mountains. Subraces. In the face of the blight, some Thogrum undergo the irreversible transformation into crystal-born warriors, fusing entirely with the crystals in their bodies to wield immense elemental power against the threat. This metamorphosis grants them unparalleled mastery over stone and crystal, the ability to summon devastating elemental forces, and the skill to restore weakened energy flows. Yet the cost is profound. Over time, they lose their physical forms and become living crystalline beings with only tenuous ties to the material world, no longer able to eat, drink or rest, existing solely as vessels of raw energy, revered as the ultimate sacrifice for their people. The crystal-born's choice remains controversial, while critics warning that the process might further drown the fragile energy reserves and hasten the Thogrum's decline. Chapter 3: Culture and Traditions. Society. The Thogrum live in grand, mountain-spanning cities built into crystal and stone fortresses that blend seamlessly with the environment. Their society is highly structured around hierarchical guilds, each specializing in vital aspects of their culture: crystal smiths, earth shapers, equilibrium keepers, and blight seekers. These guilds govern social roles, education, and resource management, maintaining a delicate balance between tradition and innovation. Family bonds are strong, but often secondary to guild allegiance. Education is formalized within the guilds, where apprentices learn craftsmanship, geomancy, philosophy, or experimental science, depending on their caste. Though proud and stoic, the Thogrum are not isolationist, often seeking alliances with neighbor races for survival and mutual benefit. Psychology and personality. Thogrum tends toward a stoic and rational temperament, shaped by centuries of living in harsh, unyielding mountains. They are driven by a deep sense of duty and preservation, balancing hope for restoration with the grim realities of their blighted world. Many exhibit a quiet resilience and patience, but beneath this calm lies a simmering tension between traditionalists who revere elemental harmony and reformists pushing for radical solutions. Values and philosophy. The blight has fractured Thogrum society, sparking ethical disputes and clashing philosophies. Traditionalists urge adherence to the ancient rituals and reliance on elemental harmony to heal the land naturally, while reformists advocate for innovation, alliances with other species, and even large-scale adoption of the crystal-born transformation. Tensions run high among the guilds as well. Crystal smiths accuse earth shapers of overmining, and blight seekers clash with equilibrium keepers over the morality of their experimental methods. As their crisis deepens, the Thogrum are forced to make agonizing decisions, from harvesting forbidden crystals that could destabilize the mountains to risk more lives in the perilous paths of becoming crystal-born. Factions. Thogrum society is organized into hierarchical guilds, each safeguarding a vital aspect of their culture and elemental heritage. The crystal smiths, master artisan and magical engineers forge radiant weapons, intricate tools, and even self-repairing fortresses from rare mined crystals. The earth shapers, geomancer of exceptional skill, shape mountains, carve tunnels, and construct monumental fortresses while striving to prevent over-extraction that could weaken the land. The equilibrium keepers serve as philosophers and spiritual leaders, overseeing sacred rituals and ensuring the harmonious flow of elemental energy that sustain Thogrum life. The blight seekers, a more recent and controversial guild, devote themselves to investigating and halting the blight, often embracing risky partnership, unstable crystals, or advocating the transformative yet divisive path of the crystal-born. Rituals and celebrations. Rites of passage mark significant milestones, especially the carving of one's first crystal rune, symbolizing full membership in society and responsibility to the mountains. Pilgrimages to ancient Titan sites are sacred, led by equilibrium keepers to seek blessing and renew bonds with elemental forces. Seasonal festivals revolve around the cycles of earth energy, such as the Crystal Bloom, celebrating renewal, and the Shattering Remembrance, a somber event recalling past overexploitation. Taboos include the desecration of sacred crystals, over-harvesting without ritual consent, and a mixture of blight-tainted resources, which is seen as inviting spiritual corruption. Arts. Thogrum art is deeply intertwined with the spiritual and elemental beliefs. Sculpture is paramount, with grand crystalline monuments and intricate runic carving expressing philosophical ideas and historical memory. Music is composed using resonant stone, instruments that mimic natural earth vibrations, often performed during rituals to harmonize with elemental energy. Poetry and storytelling celebrate the legends of the Crystal Titans and warn of past excesses. Education. Knowledge is transmitted primarily through guild apprenticeship systems, where elders impart specialized skill and wisdom to younger generations. Each guild holds proprietary knowledge. Crystal smiths teach magical craftsmanship, earth shapers instruct geomancy and construction, equilibrium keepers oversee spiritual teaching, and blight seekers study experimental and forbidden techniques. Chapter 4. Relationship and Interactions. Relationship with other species. Historically, the Thogrum have maintained cautious but pragmatic alliances with neighboring mountain and earth-like races, valuing cooperation to protect shared territories and resources. They hold a traditional respect for dwarves, viewing them as kindred masters of stone and craft, while maintaining warlike neutrality or quiet suspicion toward more nomadic or elemental races that disrupt the mountain's balance. The Thogrum tend to approach diplomacy with measured negotiation rather than aggression, preferring to impose through steadfastness and example rather than conquest. Chapter 5. History and Mythology. Origins. The origin of the Thogrum are shrouded in myth and mystery. One legend claimed they were sculpted by an ancient race of dwarves as crystalline-infused guardians of the mountains, tasked with safeguarding resources and maintaining harmony between mining and preservation. Another theory proposed they were born in places where the earth elemental energy fused with natural crystal formation, slowly awakening into live conduits of the land's power. Whatever their true beginnings, the blight now threatened them may stem from over-extraction and the corruption of these vital energy flows, an upheaval that endangers not only their survival, but the very essence of their identity. Chronicles and Wars. Thogrum history is marked by cycles of construction and devastation, from ancient wars defending their mountains home against invaders' forces to inherited conflicts sparked by guild rivalries and responses to the blight. Legendary figures include Karag the Stoneheart, a warrior who led a great defense against the first blight incursions, and Scylla the Crystal Seeker, a prophetess who foretold the coming of Eternal Forge and united desperate clans in hope. Cataclysmic events such as the Shattering, a massive collapse caused by reckless crystal mining, remain etched in cultural memories as cautionary tales emphasizing balance and restraint. Legends and symbols. Thogrum values and identity are rooted in ancient myths that shape their cultural philosophy. The tale of the Crystal Titans depicts immense crystalline beings who embodied both power and restraint, serving as paragons of balance and warning against the arrogance of over-extraction. The Shattering recounts the disastrous age when unchecked crystals harvesting destabilized the land, nearly destroying their civilization. A cautionary reminder of the need for harmony with the earth. Finally, the prophecy of the Eternal Forge tells of hidden crystal deep within the mountains, capable of restoring elemental energy and curing the blight. Its promise drives many blight seekers to devote their lives to its discovery. Role in recent events. Currently, the Thogrum stand at a precarious threshold, their society struggling against the ever-spreading blight that saps their elemental energies and threatens their very existence. While some cities and guilds cling to tradition, others actively seek new alliances and technologies to survive, making the Thogrum both resilient and divided. Chapter 6. Magic and Technology. Magic and Knowledge. The Thogrum wield unique elemental traditions to combat the blight. Crystal runes of balance are intricate carving etched into their crystalline skin, acting as conduit to channel and stabilize the Earth's elemental energy. Through sacred rituals, these runes can temporarily dispel the blight, though prolonged activation drains the strength of the Thogrum performing them. Another practice draws to the elemental echoes, fragments of the Crystal Titan's essence hidden deep within the mountains. Skilled geomancer can summon these echoes through meditative trances to cleanse corrupted crystal veins and briefly restore harmony, but the echoes always demand a price, making this ancient magic perilous as it is powerful. Chapter 7. Religion and Divinity. Beliefs. The Thogrum are deeply spiritual, with most being devoted believers in a polytheistic system rooted in element and ancestral worship. Their faith centers on the reverence of the earth elemental forces, particularly the ancient crystal titans, whose lingering presence is felt in the mountains themselves. These deities are believed to be tangible forces in the world, and their blessing or curses can be experienced through shifts in elemental energy. While Thogrum society primarily honors their own pantheon, they are generally respectful and tolerant of other faiths, often seeking diplomats and ritual exchanges with believers of different traditions. Pantheon. The Thogrum pantheon centers on the ancient crystal titans, primordial beings embodied strength, balance and elemental power, whose fragmented essences are believed to dwell within the mountains. Among these deities are Kaelra, the Earth Mother, goddess of growth, renewal and the hidden veins of crystal and mineral, invoked during mining and restoration rituals. Vorthak, the Blight Bringer, a feared figure representing decay and corruption, blamed for the blight spread and serving as warning to respect the land limits. And Sildra, the Forge Keeper, patron of craftsmanship and innovation, revered especially by the Crystal Smith and Blight Seekers, and associated with the legendary elemental forge believed to hold the power to heal the land. Chapter 8. Adventurers. Motivations. Many Thogrum become adventurers driven by a profound sense of duty to protect their people and the mountains from the Blight's devastation. Some seek the elemental forge, hoping to find or restore its power to heal their homeland. Others are motivated by a desire to forge alliances with other races, sharing knowledge and resources to face their shared crisis. A few, particularly among the reformist and blight seekers, pursue forbidden or dangerous magics, willing to risk everything to uncover new ways to save or transform their kind. Personal honor, the pursuit of lost knowledge, and the quest to restore balance all fueled the journeys of Thogrum adventurers. Chapter 9. Narrative Archetypes. Conflicts and Dramas. Internally, the Thogrum grapple with a rift between traditionalists who hold ancient rituals and reformists advocating innovation and alliances. Guild rivalries and ethical disputes over resources use and crystal-born transformation fuel power struggles. Themes. The Thogrum embody universal themes of balance versus excess, traditions versus progress, and sacrifice for the collective good. Chapter 10. Narrative Applications. Plot Ideas. The Thogrum struggle against the Blight offer rich narrative conflicts. Characters might join a desperate expedition to locate the legendary Eternal Forge, believed to hold the key to restoring the mountains. Another plot could focus on the tension between traditionalist and reformist, forcing characters to navigate political intrigue and ethical dilemmas around the controversial crystal-born transformation. Interesting setting. The towering fortress city of Chrysalor stands at the heart of Thogrum civilization, carved into a massive mountains with crystalline spires glittering under the sun. Chrysalor is a marvel of geomantic energies, vast hall echo with the hum of elemental energy, and the walls pulse faintly with room of balance. The city is divided into districts controlled by guilds, from the glittering workshop of the Crystal Smith to the sacred temples of the Equilibrium Keepers. Deep beneath lies the Eternal Forge, a mythical chamber said to house a primordial crystal capable of healing or destroying the land. Iconic characters. Key figures among the Thogrum include Valgar Stonehand, the stoic leader of the Crystal Smiths, known for crafting radiant elemental weapons, whose towering form is marked by radiant crystal veins and battle-worn hands. Elira Earthseer, the High Earth Shaper and Geomancer, who maintains Chrysalor's stability with glowing rune-etched robes and obsidian-like eyes channeling the mountain's energy. Korun the Crystalborn, a once mortal warrior now transformed into a jagged, semi-transparent crystalline entity, whose metallic, resonant voice carries the weight of sacrifice as he battles the Blight. And Celis Varrin, a determined reformist Blight Seeker, marking her sharp gaze and faint glowing crystal pendant, whose experimental methods and outreach to outsiders make her a figure of both hope and controversy within Thogrum society. And that's all for now. There are certainly some details we can perfect, aspects to expand, and I would like to write a short story for each of these creatures. I'll see what to do in the future, but in the meantime, I can't wait to kick off the grand tournament!